Buddy, what is considered distracted driving?
Anything that takes your hands off the wheel, your eyes off the road, and your focus away from your driving.
Now let's look at what the data says. According to the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, 3,142 people were killed by distracted driving in 2019. According to the National Safety Council, 1 out of every 4 car crashes in the United States is caused by texting and driving. Cell phone use while driving leads to 1.6 million crashes every year. According to Tennessee's Integrated Traffic Analysis Network, also known as Titan, a crash involving a distracted driver in Tennessee occurs every 26 minutes and 13 seconds. And the distracted driver in a crash is most often male. So looking at this graph here, it's very apparent that New York has very high crash numbers compared to Tennessee and Georgia, as high as over 95,000 in 2019.
The point I want to make here is that distracted driving is a traffic safety issue unlike any other. When a traffic police officer shows up at a scene, they have to fill out on the crash report what the contributing factors were to the crash. In New York, we have cell phone usage, we have talking on a cell phone, texting, we have distractions in the vehicle, outside the vehicle, and just a plain old box that says inattention or distraction. So there's many options for a law enforcement officer to select. When a police officer shows up to a scene, it's very hard to tell if somebody was on their phone, either talking or texting, unless they admit it to the police officer. So the numbers that you gave are probably even underreported. I think the numbers nationwide are even much higher.
Alan, due to this downward trend in your crash numbers, do you feel your hands-free law is working effectively?
I believe that we have a robust law enforcement as well as a media campaign. And over the years, the 2 years that I've been there, we have really tried to partner with different agencies, whether it be local law enforcement, the state patrol, or whomever, to make sure we get the message out there that we can educate people to tell them the horrific traffic accidents that will occur if you're not being attentive and paying attention to what you're supposed to be doing when you get behind the wheel of a vehicle.
All right, it looks like we have a comment. I'm going to read it for us. Buddy, Alan, Chuck, and Ariel, thanks so much for doing this and sharing the Grace Safety Program. Thank you, Tim from Facebook. Appreciate having you. Oh, we got some more from Save a Life Tour. Hello and thank you from Save a Life. In Grand Rapids, Michigan. Nice. Awesome. Let's talk more about distracted driving. How does technology contribute to the issue?
Technology is a double-edged sword, right? I mean, we all love the technology that we have, especially with our cell phones, the ability to search the World Wide Web, at a moment's notice to get whatever we want. We no longer have to open up a big paper map while we're driving because we have GPS and all the different technologies. There's so many in-car technologies, such as automatic emergency braking or lane keeping assist or lane departure warning systems that many of our cars now have. So the technology is great. It helps us prevent crashes, but it also is obviously a detriment. If people cannot put their phone down and when they hear that beep, it's just natural to grab it. It's an addiction to look at that message, to send a text message. I guess the answer to the question is that there are technologies that are out there for all of us, whether it's an app on your phone that prevents you from texting or using your phone. If you're going over a certain mile per hour, like say 10 miles an hour, it doesn't allow you to text, receive text, or send text or make a phone call. There's also technologies that you can actually put onto your car that prevent you from texting and driving as well. So like I say, technology got us into this problem. It's going to probably have to get us out of it as well.
It looks like we have a comment from John Quatero. My son was hit by a distracted driver in Nashville and instantly paralyzed from the waist down. Thanks to Buddy Lewis and Beth Vernon and the team at the THSO, which is the Tennessee Highway Safety Office, he is now having an incredible impact speaking to high school students in the state. So John is actually, I believe, a grantee of ours, a partner, and he is part of our education program and reaching out to teens and preventing distracted driving by sharing their stories. One way that states have worked to combat distracted driving is through the implementation of hands-free laws to ban cell phone use while driving. Are you allowed to touch your phone in order to use GPS while driving?
No, Ariel, you may not touch your phone. If you need to access GPS or to use your phone, you must find a safe place to pull over and operate your vehicle while you're on the shoulder of the road.
So pretty much people need to understand that you have to set your navigation at the beginning of your drive before you even leave the driveway. And if you have to change it or make adjustments, please pull over. Don't try to do that while you're driving. That's a very easy way to be distracted and cause a crash. Buddy, what about video? Are you allowed to video record from your phone while driving?
No, you're not, Ariel, and it's very dangerous to do so. And we see that quite often evidenced on social media. A lot of times people will post something on social media while they're driving. They'll be driving down the road and see something outside their vehicle that they want to show off or whatever. But it's very dangerous, and it is a violation of the law to video while you're driving. Once you take your mind off of doing what you need to be doing, is focusing on your driving skills and the roadway. Once you do that, you're distracted driving. And so anything that you do that will take your mind off of what your job is while you're driving is classified as distracted driving. So no, you cannot use your video to video yourself while you're driving.
Alan, I would like to ask you about the frequency of crashes that occur during crash scenes in Georgia due to distracted driving. Can you talk to us about that?
Yes, ma'am. And I don't have it for a fact, but I believe this is where the term rubbernecking come from. When people pass crash scenes, they tend to spend time looking at the scene instead of driving. We found that when traffic is backed up and you do have the opportunity to proceed forward, it's better for you to go ahead and get past the scene instead of trying to visually look and inspect to try to figure out what happened. And that's why I believe the term rubbernecking came from. And a lot of times we do have multiple accidents at one scene that had already happened prior to many people getting there and causing a rubbernecking situation.
So we like to start, campaigns, whether it's TV, radio, social media, billboards, bus shelters, to remind people of the dangers of distracted driving. That's one way we do it. A second way that I think is very impactful is like you mentioned there with John from, I think, Tennessee, was we use victim advocate speakers to go out to speak to high school students, college-age students, law enforcement, and magistrates. And we have a woman who speaks for us, a couple of folks actually, who've been in horrible distracted driving crashes or lost loved ones in distracted driving crashes. And they speak from the heart, and they talk to these students and law enforcement and the magistrates about their experience. And then from the enforcement perspective, I'm sure Buddy and Alan will talk more about it with their law enforcement background, but we like to use a lot of different details with vehicles that are kind of raised up a little bit, either buses or SUVs, so that the law enforcement can look down to see people texting or using their phones. And as you know, you can drive down the road. It's not that hard to find people doing it.
Iasonis Sanikis. Hello from the other side of the planet, Nicosia, #Cyprus. We are preparing for a month of actions on speeding, but distracted driving information is valuable, and we definitely used for our next campaigns. I hope National Distracted Driving Awareness Month is successful. Thank you. Thank you for that comment. We really appreciate it. Alan, tell us about Georgia. What is it that you guys do to combat distracted driving?
We want to make sure that we educate the motoring public about the awareness of distracted driving. Then we have a robust law enforcement campaign, and we make sure that we focus on distracted driving speeders as well as impaired drivers.
Okay, in Tennessee, we do our statewide distracted driving bus enforcement bus tour. It has been a very successful partnership between our office, THP, and other local law enforcement offices, agencies across the state, where we utilize buses, we utilize tractor trailers, we utilize shuttle buses, unmarked vehicles, or whatever. And we also combine the media with us so they can see what we're doing and the message we're trying to get out. We also educate, as Alan said, it's about education along with enforcement. And we have used our Reduced TN Crashes site to get peer-to-peer teen driver safety messages out. We have dealt with our teen driver safety education programs. And then we utilize our media, our paid media, our social media, and every way that we can get the word out about educating our public and our drivers.
Wonderful. We're going to throw up a few comments and feedback that we've had with the public as we wrap up. I want to thank all of you guys for being here today. It's been great having the representation. As you said, let's do this again. Let's keep educating the public. And one thing that I appreciated about what Buddy said is that we need to hold each other accountable. So everyone take care and drive safe.